Well, welcome to the Orland Park Public Library. I am Diane and I'll be your host today, and I'll be teaching you Computers 201. I just want to make sure that I have everyone in attendance, so I'll be starting in just a minute or so. So I want to welcome those that have joined us today. Thank you so much for meeting with me and learning a little bit more about computers. Last week, I just will give you an update that last week we just kind of went over the brief introduction for computers, how to turn it on, how to turn it off properly, and then how to open up a Word document, and then even how to save it, how to print it. So today we're going to go a little bit further with that, and I will bring up my screen so that I can share with you my presentation. All right, so for Computers 201 today, I'll just give you our objectives, and our objectives are just to help you become a little bit more familiar with the basic usage of a computer and its parts. I want to help you create and save, print, and share a Word document, which we went over last week. And again, I'll just go over with that with you briefly today. To know how to use the Windows calendar so that if you want to, you can go ahead and set up events and things so that you don't forget important dates that you need to know. You can learn how to set up your own calendar, even for you or for multiple people in your household, or if you have more than one job or more than one organization maybe that you belong to, you can keep multiple calendars that way to keep track of all your important dates. Then to know how to use the basic Windows apps like a calculator, things like that. I'll show you where those are located on the desktop. Also, to know how to browse the internet using Windows Edge or Firefox or even Google Chrome, any type of browser, we'll go over that today. And then to know how to sign up for an email address and to use and then how to use the email address. So again, just brief overview. These are what we had gone over in our Computers 101. If you did not make that class last week, you can go ahead and see it on our YouTube page as well. You can go and you can search for our videos on YouTube under the Orland Park Public Library, and then you can find Computers 101. Now, these are just the main parts of the computer that you'll see here. And again, these are things that you'll use most often, whether it's on the desktop or even on a laptop, you'll use all these components. And then again, some of the symbols that you'll find, especially when we're searching the internet, you might use Google Chrome more often than Microsoft Edge, but depending on your operating system, again, you can use either one for surfing the internet. You might even use Safari as well. You'll also be able to see certain icons on your computer like Word. This icon will show you for a Word document or pages if you have multiple tasks and things like that that you are keeping track of. So there are different icons just for you to be able to locate and to know. Now, we went over in Computers 101, but I'll go over that with you again today, how to create, save, print, and then even share Word document. This is one of the more basic features of computer usage, and one that we most often receive when we're here at the library. Most often patrons will come to us and they will want to, create a Word document for their own purposes. Again, you can open up a new Word document by going in the lower left of your computer screen and opening up the Windows icon, and then you can search there for Word, or you can maybe have it already on your desktop. Maybe you've already tagged it there, and again, to open it up, you can open it up, and then the picture in the upper left here will show you that screen will already have for you a choice, and you can choose to open up a blank document or even use a template if you will. And then in the upper left of that screen, you'll see that you get to choose what you want to do. And so in this case, you want to open up a new document. When you open up that new document, you begin typing on it. One of the things you're going to want to do first off is to save as. And when you do that, again, you'll go into the upper the upper left of that computer screen, and then you'll choose your window. And again, one of the other choices underneath the home, the new, the open are info, save, and save as. Save as is when you first want to save your document, and you'll click on that, and then you'll choose what you want to save it as. And you'll see that larger screen here in the lower right of my screen here. And again, for saving it, you can choose where you want to save it. I like to choose to put it onto my desktop, and then I might create folders on my desktop in order to better organize what it is that I have. Maybe I have more than one organization I belong to, or maybe I have multiple people in my family and I want to keep track of different things. So I'll create folders for each one of those in order to make my desktop cleaner and then to have myself better organized. So then you can choose on where you want to put that, and then you'll be able then to type in the name of the document that you want to save. And when you go ahead and do that, it will then automatically go into that location with the name of the document. Now, again, you'll do the same thing if you want to print. You'll go in the upper left corner, you can go under File, and then you're able then to choose the choice to print. And when you do that, look at the center here, you're able then to choose the printer that you want to send it to. Maybe you have more than one at home, or maybe you just have the one, but you'll choose where you want to send it. You'll choose how many pages you want to send. You don't have to print everything if you don't need to print everything. So you can print pages one at a time if you want to. You can print pages front to back if you want to. All these choices are yours. You can even choose how many copies you want to make, and you'll be able to do that and then hit print in order to send it then to the printer. Now, maybe you want to share this. Maybe you want to send your document as an email. Again, you'll go into that upper corner, upper left, and then you'll choose under File, and then you'll be able to get the same choices. And then if you scroll down, like the photograph in the lower left here, you'll see that you'll be able to share it. Now you can choose to share it in a couple of ways. You can either choose to say share this with email. Maybe you want to put this as a blog post. Maybe you're putting this on the website, maybe that you've chosen, or however, but you choose how you want to share it. It's a good thing if you put this in the cloud, and then you're able to share this with multiple people. That way they can comment on your document, things like that, if that's something you want to do. Most often though, people are going to want to share this as an email attachment. So then you'd click on email, and then you'd create this as an attachment. You don't have to do it this way. You can always save this into your document, and then you can always go into your own email, and then you can always save it as an attachment that way too, and share it that way. And I'll show you that in a little while. The next feature I want to share with you is the Windows Calendar. Now, Windows Calendar is a great way for you to also keep track of any appointments you might have, any special dates and events that maybe you need to attend. And so you can always create this. You can keep multiple calendars for different people. If you look at my picture here, you can see that this person has Brad's calendar, or they have different things, and they've highlighted it for holidays or just, things that they have going on. So you're able to do this. Now, how you find this calendar is in the lower left of your computer screen. You'll have your Windows icon. You click on that in order to open up your Windows desktop. And then your menu there will show you calendar. And when you click on calendar, this calendar comes up just like this. And you'll first have to, if you haven't used calendar before, is to set it up, and you'll want to sync this in with your own email. That way you not only get it onto your desktop or even your laptop computer, but you'll have this on your mobile device, on any of your other tablets, or maybe your iPads. You'll be able to sync this up because it is through Windows. You can put this on any one of your multiple devices in order to keep track of any special events that you might have. Now, when you set this up and the calendar comes up, like I said, again, you'll put in your own account information for your calendar. You'll then get this screen, and you can view this calendar by the day, by the work week, if you want to, by the month, or even the year. and you get to choose how you want to view your calendar. I personally like to do it by the month, just like what we have here on this screen. But again, you can choose to view it any way you want to. If you do it by the day, you'll be able to see everything in there for the day and the time that you might have it. Now, in order to put in a new event in your calendar, you can either choose to click on one of the days that you want to put that event in, and then that day will come up, and then you'll be able to choose the name of the event and then the time for the event, and then be able to save it that way. Or on your screen in the upper left will be new event, and you'll click on that. And again, you'll be able to put the same information in. You'll put the name of the event. Let's say it's, Helen's birthday, and you'll want to put that in there. You might choose to do it all day. You want to celebrate her birthday all day. Or maybe you have a dentist appointment, and so you'll choose dentist, and you might want to just put the, specific time in there, 4 p.m. And maybe you'll click on, maybe it's an hour appointment. And so you'll go like 4 then to 5, and then you'll save it, and it will be then put onto your calendar. And again, this calendar, you can sync it up to any one of your devices, any device that will have your email address on there. You'll be able to put it there. So that really is the calendar. And you can also choose to share this calendar. Maybe you want to send this as an attachment. Maybe you want to send this to someone. You can choose to do that. In the lower left of the screen, you'll see the different icons. And one of those is the little envelope, and that's for the email. And so you can choose to click on that. This will then create this as an attachment in order to send it out as an email. You don't have to do that. Only if you need to for a specific purpose. You also have settings for your calendar, and your calendar, you can set that up for specific things. Maybe it's that you want to set it up in order to keep track of multiple people in there. You can choose to do that. Maybe you want to personalize your calendar. You want to make it a specific color, or have images with your calendar. You can choose to do that. All that is through the settings. And again, you would do that by clicking on the little gear and then just choosing the different prompts of the things that you want to highlight. And again, this is for your own preference, however you choose to set up your calendar. And like I said, you can have multiple calendars for different purposes, different people too within your family. The next thing I want to share with you today is how to search the internet safely. And I want to share this with you first before we go into actually surfing the internet. We use the internet for different purposes, whether it's to, read blogs, maybe it's to send email or read email. Maybe it's for social media. Maybe we want to see what's on our Facebook account or on our Instagram. Maybe it's to check the news and to get, updates quickly. Maybe it's to chat with someone who's far, far away from us, especially now in the pandemic. People are using the internet a lot more to Zoom, take classes online. You can even use it, again, for other purposes like chatting, going into chat rooms, things like that. You can do that. You can use it for research. Maybe you want to look up something on WebMD, which is a big popular site. You can choose to do that. Maybe you want to learn a little bit more about the coronavirus. So you're going to use it for research purposes. Maybe you want to shop. Maybe instead of going to the store and picking up something, you're using the internet then to place an order and have it shipped to you, or, to notify you of when you want to go pick it up. Let's say at walmart.com, and you want to order your groceries that way. So you're shopping online. Maybe it's to play video games. It's just to pass the time. And so you're using the internet to, to play computer games. Or again, and maybe it's just to watch media. Maybe you want to go onto YouTube and you want to watch videos or, stream, movies, things like that. So you're using the internet for a lot of different purposes. We need to remember that the internet is a public place. Again, a lot of people see, a lot of different things on the internet. We do have to remember that we might even be at our home while we're on the internet, but it is a public place. And people may not be who they say they are. Things are not, over the internet what they seem to be sometimes. And I want you to remember that there are some things that you just should not do while you're on the internet. So number one, you should never give out your personal information. That could be your social security number, your address, things like that. And it might sound like it's common sense not to do that, but a lot of times we don't know really what's real or what's not sometimes. And we might get an alert on something and it might make us a little nervous, oh, you got maybe a notice that your McAfee subscription is up, and you're thinking, did I really need to renew this at this time? I don't know. And then you want to go ahead and click on that, and you want to send your information when it was a spam all along. And sometimes those things come up on your web browser when you're surfing the internet. And again, you might not know that it's not okay to click on that. But I want you to remember, do not give out your personal information on the internet. Never let people know your personal information when you're on social media. Like, never say, I'm leaving for Florida today. I will be gone for a whole week. I'm so excited. Because again, you never know who's going to be looking at you or your posts online. And so you don't really want to divulge too much personal information because again, things can happen. And so you want to know too who you are communicating with. Do not open up those spam emails. You might get something like from Bank of America and, dear, customer, and we want to know this. If they can't give you your own personal name, and that, it's not okay to click on that. That is a spam email. So make sure that you are aware of what's, real versus what's not. Do not open up attachments and links and emails from people you don't know. And it might even come from a friend's email. It might look legitimate, but it really isn't. And so never click on something that does not look right. If you go into the sender's area for the email address, if it doesn't look like, let's say you got something from Bank of America, if that email address does not link to Bank of America and links to, all kinds of gobbledygook at, something else, that is a spam email. It's not something that you want to click on. Do not reply to spam or offensive emails. Delete all the emails that you do not know. Again, this just helps you prevent any kind of fraud from happening to you, to your family in that way. And it also just kind of cleans up your email folders and things like that. Just so go ahead and just delete those emails. You don't need them in your folders. And then also just, again, do not open up pop-up ads. Again, when you're surfing the internet, a lot of different sites will have ads that pop up, and they do that because they need sponsorship dollars in order to put those ads on the internet, to keep their site going. And so they will often have these pop-up ads. So we don't want to click on a lot of those ads because again, they may even say safe, but there's generally problems with that, and a virus then is kind of hiding in that pop-up. And so you don't want something unsafe to get on your computer. This is what it would look like. You might have something that says virus found, or hey, you are a winner, something like that. These are all no-nos. Do not click on pop-up ads like this at all on your computer. Again, it's best that if you are going to be surfing the internet and you're going to use your computer a lot for this, you're going to want to have a firewall on your computer. And again, when you have Windows is your firewall. And so it's best that you set that up that way. Again, setting up a firewall on your computer will prevent other computers from accessing your information without your permission. Keeps all your personal information safe. A big mistake that a lot of computer users use is that they don't make sure to back up their computer. Again, you want to make sure you back it up, whether it's on a external hard drive, something that you buy, let's say going to Best Buy or even like Office Depot. You can buy an external hard drive and store all your data off your computer, or you can just randomly, again, back it up at times that you don't usually use your computer, like let's say overnight. And you can do that in the settings of your computer, and you can back it up then to its own hard drive. So you want to make sure that you're backing up constantly, whether it's on a weekly basis or a monthly basis. Just go ahead and back up your data. If your computer gets a virus or is hacked, because of something that's, gone onto your computer. And if your computer isn't backed up, you could lose a lot of your personal information. And again, if something like that happens, you may want to take it to like the Geek Squad at Best Buy. Sometimes you can ask us here at the library maybe what to do. Always feel free to give us a call at the library. We're here to help you before you do anything. You can always also take it to one of those iFixit places that are always popping up everywhere. And they can always look for your computer and see, what type of virus is on there and see what they can do. But that's why it's always best to back up your data on a consistent basis so that if something like that happens, you don't lose a whole lot of your personal information. And like I said, you can always purchase an external hard drive in order to back that up too. Now, to use the internet, you need a Wi-Fi connection. And again, you'll have to have this from, let's say, your provider. Maybe you have a landline at home and you want AT&T. So again, you can use AT&T if you want to, Comcast, things like that. You're going to choose a provider for your Wi-Fi. So having a simple Wi-Fi setup will allow your information to be monitored, though, by an outside source. So make sure to set your Wi-Fi with good security. And one way that you can do that, again, is by having a password for your Wi-Fi. Again, this may come from AT&T. Let's say if you're using AT&T and you've got that router at home, it may come right from AT&T, and sometimes it's right there on your router. But you can go into your own account settings, and you can always choose to change that through AT&T. You might not even want the whole AT&T like number for your ID on your Wi-Fi. You might want to, have it for your own, family name or whatever. Again, you can choose to do that through the settings in your account. Again, making sure that you have a password and that it will be a hard password so that nobody can, figure out what it is in order to, get in to use your own Wi-Fi. And then while using the Wi-Fi over Wi-Fi hotspots, you need to make sure that any site that you are visiting has an HTTPS connection. And that, again, is going to be found in the search area of your site that you are visiting. And again, you want to make sure that that's there. It's got a little lock to it. That way, anything that you go to on that site then is protected, especially if you're going to be using a credit card or debit card in order to pay for certain things on that site. You want to make sure that it is protected. Be careful, though, of sending and even receiving emails over these hotspots as well. Let's say you are in a public place and there are multiple hotspots going on. You want to make sure that you're not sending sensitive information over those, because any one person who's in that same area might be able to see what you're doing on your own computer. So again, you want to make sure that you are aware of what's going on around you, even if you yourself can't see it. Internet settings. For your settings, you're going to want to, again, make sure that you have things set up on your computer. While using the internet, it would be smart to turn on your pop-up blocker so that you're not getting some of those malicious ads that come up. Again, it will prevent you from being tempted to click on those pop-ups that could lead to viruses. And make sure that in your security settings that you have the right things checked. You can choose to have your blocker at a really high rate, or maybe more of it at an intermediate. That way more things, can get through, but, more of those others that you don't want to have go through will be stopped. So you can choose the level of settings that you want for your security. And again, it's important to make sure that your computer warns you so that you get notifications if you enter a site that, is a fraudulent site. And then when you are warned, you usually never want to continue using that site again. So because again, you might have a virus or something that would end up on your computer. So be aware of that. The other thing is too, with those spyware and viruses, make sure that you get a good antivirus software, whether it's Norton or even like Trend Micro. We use that here at the library. And you want to also have that on your computer as well. McAfee's another one. Again, sometimes they have subscriptions for a year, 2 years, 3 years, however. And then maybe you're billed monthly or on an annual basis, but make sure you get antivirus software. You don't just want to rely on your firewall, on your Windows, but you want to also make sure that you have an antivirus software as well on your computer. Now, when we go on on the internet, we want to make sure that we, have an email account. That way, people can access us in different ways, not just over the phone, but they can also send us an email. It's also a good way for you to communicate, to other places as well that you need to send things. So, well, what is email? Email is basically an electronic mail, and it's a way to send things over the computer at a faster rate. You can send and receive these messages over the internet, but you do need an email account in order to receive these electronic emails. Now, what do you need for this? You do need a device with internet access, and it can be on anything. It can be on your desktop, your laptop, it can be on your tablet or iPad, or even on your smartphone. So any of these devices will allow you to have an internet access. Now, maybe you're able to set one up. Maybe you just want to come to the library. Maybe the library is the only place. You don't have your own home computer, but you want to come to the library and do that as well. We have a lot of patrons that will just utilize the library just for their own email because they don't have their own home computer, and that is fine. We love having our patrons come back to us. So again, you just need a device with an internet access. You do need to have an email account. It can be through Gmail, which is Google. It can be through Yahoo. It can be Hotmail or even AT&T, whatever service provider you choose. So you don't have to necessarily use one or the other. One isn't better than the other, whatever. It just depends on what you prefer. And so again, we're going to go over how to set up an email address in just a minute. I will use one of these providers just again as an example. It does not mean that I'm promoting this one over the other. But again, it just is to show you for an example, but they're all pretty much the same when you go to set up an email account. And you can have multiple email accounts. You don't just have to have one. And maybe you're going to have one with different providers as well. I personally have a Gmail account that I use for work. And then as I teach and I have a lot of, students, and we use Google a lot. So I might have my own Gmail account, but then I also have a personal Yahoo account, and I even have a personal Hotmail account. So it just depends on how you want to, choose to set up your email account. But when I do this, I'm not choosing one over the other. It's just purely there for an example. Now, Outlook, you may have heard of, or if you have a Mac computer or even an iPad, Apple Mail, these are not email providers, but you can access, your email through that provider. So for instance, you can go into Outlook and you can put in your own email address, and maybe it's for something for work. Maybe you forgot something. You can choose to use Outlook in order to pick up your own email if it's an outside, source. It's not just a Gmail or maybe a Yahoo or anything like that. But that's not, I just want you to know that's not an email account. Now, for example, at the bottom of the screen, you'll see that for an email, you need to have, the name of that, that email. Let's say you choose to put your name. Then it will say at, have the at symbol, and then it'll say the provider at the end, the domain name, whether it's Gmail or Yahoo or what have you. So that will be what we're going to use today. You're going to have a username with the domain name in the email. But I want you to remember first that choosing a good password is the best thing you can do for yourself when you're creating an email. Even when you have other accounts outside, you need to make sure that you have a good, strong password. This will keep your information safe while you're on the internet. So what is an example of a good password? Well, a strong password should have at least 8 characters. It might have a combination. It might have a combination of letters, capitalized, lower, case. It might have numbers and even symbols attached to this. Now, you might also turn a favorite phrase into a password. So for example, DTOM with the apostrophe, I'm sorry, with an exclamation point, 775 is don't tread on me 1775. Maybe you just want to, choose a phrase, or maybe TTMAB2 at 7 is, to the moon and back 2007. Make it, fun, but make it something that's going to be strong, that maybe is, for you to, have a familiarity with it, but nobody from the outside is going to know this. So there are some examples of some bad passwords. Just the word password itself is a bad password. Your name and birth date, something that's easy for someone to look up and research, or just know, that's a bad password. Your pet's name, or your children's name, or even like just, 1, 2, 3, 4, or just 1, 1, 1, 1. Those are just, they're bad because they're just too simple. And any hacker can, get that information and then be able to use that to get your other personal data. If you have questions about what's a good password or not, I have put together slides for today's presentation, and I have also included a Forbes site, Forbes article that says rank the world's top 100 worst passwords. And so you'll be able to get this here at the library. You can even click on the link here, and you'll be able to see that as well. So you can copy this into your own browser if you are reviewing this at any time, and you'll be able to just see what some of those other passwords are that are, pretty bad, and you shouldn't use them, just to kind of get a sense of, what you should or shouldn't do. Now, ideas for choosing a password. You might want to have your favorite book, is the title, as your password, or maybe it's a favorite place you like to visit, or your favorite food, something, like I said, that's more familiar to you. Now, you can write this down if you have too many sites, or you don't want to always continuously use the same password for whatever account you have, because again, somebody might get that information, and then they might be able to then hack into some of your other accounts. So if you need to have a separate notebook that you can keep in a separate place, that will have all your account information in there for all the different sites you have accounts with, whether it's Amazon, whether it's Walmart, Target, whatever, and then you just put in your own passwords for those. Again, make the password hard to guess. And then sometimes you can even use a two-step verification for instance, if you have a Gmail account, you might want to have, a secret code, like not a code, but rather a secret question that, you need to have answered along with your password in order to get in. So it's a two-step verification that will allow you to also maybe put in a code. You can do this sometimes using your phone number, and then it will send you a code that, again, you put in along with your password. That's a two-step verification that'll help you log into a site. And then, like I said, keep all your passwords to yourself. Never let anyone use your password to log into your computer or your device without your permission. So let's begin. Let's set up our own accounts. Now, if we were in person, we could do this a little bit easier, but I just want to share with you online today. So for instance, we're going to use Yahoo just as our example today. And so when we use Yahoo, we'll go right to www.yahoo.com. And when we do that, again, I can choose to open that up. And then when I do, you'll see this image here that's on the right. And it will come up with their homepage, and it will have, Yahoo's, trending news stories. But then in order to get to the email, you'll see that in the upper right, it'll say mail. And if you haven't used this for the first time, you'll click on that, and then you'll have to log in or create your own account. So you can either, if you've had the account, you'll log in, you'll put your own email address in there along with your password in order to enter into your email account. If you haven't, you'll then create an account. And when you create an account, you'll fill in the information that it's asking you. You'll fill in your name, your first name, your last name. You'll also have to choose, I believe, your phone number. You'll put that in there. You'll put in your own birth date. They have to make sure that you are, of age in order to create this own email address. So then what it'll do is then you'll click on continue. And when you do that, now it's going to ask you to verify your information. And you can choose to do this in either one of two ways. You can either text me or call me, it says. So if you do that, they want to verify that the phone number you have given is accurate. And the reason you'll give your phone number is because sometimes if you have to back up for whatever reason your account in order to retrieve information, it will have your phone number, or even you can use an alternate email address as a backup as well to get your information back. But in this case, they want to verify your phone number. So you'll either choose, like I said, text me or call me. When you do that, if you choose text me, it will then send you a code. And then what you'll do is that code on your, let's say from your smartphone, will then be put into your account, and then it will be verified, and then you'll be able then to use the email. And so then when you do that, I'm going to show you then what that looks like. So now this screen opens up when you go into your email. Now this is where you can have your own settings. It might have your name attached to this. You can choose to have different folders. You'll see everything here on the left side. Your inbox is where all of your new mail goes into right away. If you have certain things though that you don't want sent here, you can choose what things get put into your spam. And a lot of times though, it's already going to have this in its settings where it will choose to put things that are not easily recognizable. All those email addresses that are not for your contacts, things that you don't normally get, those will all be put into your spam. So it's always good that when you are opening up your email that you check first your inbox and you see everything that you recognize, all those email addresses. But then you can always go into your spam. You can see what kind of went into there. And if there's something that shouldn't have gone in there, maybe it's a new site that you just subscribed to or something like that, and you want to end up putting that into your email address, you can always move your email from folder to folder like that just by clicking on the box to the left of it. When you check that box, then you can then go into and move the email then into the proper location. The other thing that you can do too is you can empty that whole thing, and you see where it says empty. You can click on that and it will just take away all those emails. It'll delete all of them in there, cleaning out that spam folder. And you'll want to do this on a periodic basis as well. Same thing with your trash. Everything that you empty will also go into this trash bin. And again, you'll want to clean that out too, but you can also choose on its settings when you want that to happen. Maybe it'll do it after, 10 days or even like 30 days. Everything will get cleaned out of there. That way it doesn't stay and muck up your email. The other thing is too, you don't want your inbox to get too full. And it's always a good idea to organize this by folders. And that way, again, it keeps everything organized and clean. So you can choose to add folders in your email account. That's where this comes in, the My Folders here. You can, where it says edit, create your own folder. And you can choose to name this if you want to as well. Each folder could have its own specific name, whether you have something for work, maybe you have something for each one of your children or your spouse. You can put that in there. Maybe you have something for an organization that you are, familiar with. Maybe you just want to keep things organized in that way. So everything should have its own name. And then you can just move things back and forth. Like I said, again, by checking on the box to the left of the email and by moving it there. You'll be able to move it there from the actions that you have, or depending on the email account that you have, it might even say move at the top, and you'll be able to move that, and then it'll give you a bunch of choices of where to move that to. And then you just hit the apply, and then it will go there. Now, for your email, it will look generally like this. It will have the name of the email account holder that sent you the email, and then it will tell you the subject of that. And if it's something of importance, they might flag that again, make it so that it is important to you, and that you need to read this fairly quickly because it is important. So you might want to look for some of those. You might also have an email that has an attachment to it, and you'll see here in the far right, it has like a little paper clip, and then that means that it has an attachment to it. The others that do not will not have an attachment. And again, if you have something like, depending on the email, these stars, if you want to remember this, you'll just click on that. It will then, turn that yellow. And again, that's something then that you can access on a fairly quickly basis. And so again, if you have something, maybe you have an email that came from a sender and you don't remember the exact date. Well, you can always choose to search your mail as well. Just by in the search bar here, you can just type in who you got it from, or maybe the type of email. Maybe it was a seating chart or something like that. You just choose to type that in and then search your mail. And it will search all those emails for whoever you have it in there, and it'll bring it up really quickly too, rather than trying to search, hundreds of emails that you have stored in your inbox. It's just a quicker way to do it. Now, if you are set up and you're familiar with this, again, I want to share with you the parts of an email. The parts of an email are like this. If you want to create your own email, you'll hit compose, and then what'll happen is a blank box will come up and you want to put in the information. The 2 is the email address of the person that you want to send it to. And so you'll have to know who that is. If you have contacts though, then you can put them in there. You'll see here it says contacts, which is on the left-hand side. You can choose to put in the name of the person, their email address, and even like phone number, things like that. You can keep all this. It's kind of like your own telephone book, if you will. You'll be able to put that in there. A lot of those email addresses then will come up fairly quickly when you're putting them in there. If you didn't remember the exact one, you can always put in the name, and then boom, their email address will pop up. So you'll put that in the 2. If you have more than one person that you're sending this to, you can choose to copy someone. Again, that will be, there'll be like an arrow on the side here of the 2, and you'll be able to click on that, and then the CC line will come up, and you can copy someone, carbon copy, if you will. But if you don't want this sender to see everybody, but you have, like, let's say a multiple group that you're sending this to, but you don't necessarily want everybody's email addresses shown, that's what the blind copy is. And that's another feature that you, again, can choose and send it basically anonymous, if you will. Your information's on there, the first person is up there, but not everybody else's email addresses. And then when that person receives it, their email address is on the top, but not everybody else's. And then you'll want to put in the topic that's in your subject, and make sure that this is short. It's something that's catching, and is about what your email that you are creating is for. So make sure that it's appropriate. So you're going to want to put that in your subject heading. And like I said, just grab the attention. It's not meant to be long. And then you just type in like you would type a regular document or a letter. Hi, somebody, I want to tell you something, but I don't know what it is yet. Sincerely, and then you just kind of put your name. And you can do that. Now, if you're ready, you can then just hit send, and it will just send the email. And if you want to know what got sent, you have on the left side of your choices, you'll see where it says sent. And you can click on that folder, and then you'll see every email that you sent out and to who you sent it to. So again, you can choose to do that. Now, maybe you want to put in an attachment to this before you hit send. You can click on the paperclip, and it will then give you choices of where to find that. Maybe you want to attach an image, or maybe another document, or even your calendar that you set up earlier. You can choose to do that. And then again, you're able to browse your computer. Maybe you've sent something to your own cloud storage, so you can choose to, search the cloud. Or maybe you want to upload it and share it from another site. Maybe you've got a document that, somebody else sent you, and you have it stored elsewhere from a website. You can choose to do that as well, and then attach it that way. You can also send an image, Maybe on your Gmail account, if you are going to set one of those up, it might say, you know, insert picture. It's got a little picture icon. This will also happen if you have Hotmail as well. When you click on that though, it's going to actually insert the picture in line, meaning it's going to actually put it inside the email. It's not going to be a separate attachment. It'll actually be put in your email. You can choose to do that as well. Again, that can just be a document if you want to. Maybe it's a screenshot of something or just a regular other image. You can choose to do that as well. And you'll locate that somewhere on your computer that you already have stored. You can also choose, just like you would a Word document, to have different text. Maybe you want to bold it or italicize it. Maybe you want to choose the different color. You can do that. If you want to put in a web link, maybe from another site that you are on, you can choose to also include that link. And again, you'll press that icon. You will have to have already gone to that website, so you can minimize your email, go to that website. You can then copy that email address. And when you then go back here to your email and you click on the little chain link here, then it'll actually paste. You will paste your web address in there, and then it'll then put it into your document. And again, as a link there, that when anybody else opens up your email, they can just hover their mouse over that and hit control and then click left click on that to be able then to open up that link on their from their email. So you can choose to do that as well if you're sending out an attachment. So you want to put the attachment in before you hit send. Now again, sending that email means that you have then sent it electronically through the web. You can again choose to see what you have sent by going into your sent box. If maybe you're working on this and you are not ready to send it, you can save it as a draft. And then again, you want to go back into your draft email and see that on your main screen here for your email, that will be on the left side. You'll see where it says drafts. If you click on that, you'll be able to see all your drafts. When you want to finish that draft of that one email, you just open that up and then you'll click on the one email that you want to complete. It will bring it back up and then you'll finish it, complete it, and then hit send. And then we'll leave that draft and then it will go back into the sent folder where you want to see that later. Now, receiving email is the same thing. So again, you'll receive email. You can have that either put into your inbox or even into your spam folder. You'll be able to see that, and it should have a message. Make sure though that you're opening up emails from senders you know, or ones that you were waiting on, not something that you don't know. You don't want to hit on a, an email from an outside sender that, is from, let's say he's the prince of, the Congo, and you want, and he wants to make you a beneficiary of something. Make sure you are aware of that email, because again, that's something that's like a Trojan horse. It's going to come in and it looks all legit, but it's not. And then all of a sudden you've now put a virus on your computer. So make sure you're receiving the email from people you want. Again, reply to emails. You can either choose to reply to emails with reply if you're just sending it to one person. If there are multiple people in that email and you want to make sure everybody is aware of your reply, you want to hit reply all. So make sure it's how you want to reply. If you only want to reply with one person, you hit reply. If you want everybody then to see it, it's reply all. You can also forward an email. Maybe you receive something, but now you want to share it with your sister. So again, you want her to see it. So you can choose on the forward, and then you're able then to share the whole thing. You'll put her information, her email address on there. You can even go ahead and type in a little message like, hey sis, thought of you, wanted you to see this, and then just send that off. Again, you'll hit send and it will send it electronically as if you, created it yourself the first time. Opening up attachments. When you have an email, and like I said, if it's got a little paper clip there, that means it's got an attachment to it. You'll click on that attachment and then maybe a PDF will come up, or a folder will, and you can either choose to just open it up by clicking on it and then seeing the attachments that are on there, or maybe you want to save it. It's an important document or important photo that got sent to you. You can choose to download it. It'll have a little download arrow on there. You'll choose to do that. And then it will then come up on the lower portion of your computer screen, maybe on the left side. You'll click on that then, and then it will open up back up again, and you'll want to save it. So then you'll go into File and you'll hit Save As, and then you'll put it where you want to save it. Maybe it's on your desktop or in a specific folder. You can choose to do that. But in order for it to be on your computer or on your device, you have to download it first. It can stay in your email as well if you choose to just leave it there. It's however you want to organize your data. So again, you can open it up, save it that way for forever if you want to. You could also delete email. Like I said, you can go into the email screen and in your inbox folder, and you'll see the little checkbox on the side. You'll check it and you can hit delete. You can do it one at a time. You can do multiple just by clicking on each one of those and then hitting delete. But once you've deleted it, it will go into your trash. If you want to retrieve it, you'll have to go back into your trash bin unless you've emptied out your whole trash bin. But you can bring it back by going into your trash bin, clicking on that email, and then it will be placed back into your inbox if that's where you want to. But again, if you're going to choose to delete it for good, you'll have to do it in 2 different steps. You'll hit delete, and then you'll go into your trash bin then to complete the get rid of that email. And then what's most important, now depending on if you are on a public computer, if you're here in the library, you're using our computers, and you're here, you'll want to sign out of your email address. So that is very important. You do not want to leave your email address up. So always make sure that when you're done with email, you go into the upper right corner of that screen, and then you'll go into your account, and then you'll choose the sign out. It might have a little person, might either have your picture with it. It all depends on, or even just your name, depending on the account that you have your email with. You'll click on that and then choose sign out and make sure you do that. It's very important that you do that your email is not just left open. Now, what are some of the takeaways from today? I know that I talked a lot, but again, I wanted to make sure that you are kept safe when you're surfing the internet and then using email. So when you are using the internet, be smart and surf safely. The internet is a public place. People may not be who they say they are. Protect yourself and your personal information. Do not open up pop-up ads, email attachments, or links from unknown senders, and delete those emails that you do not know. Just don't even tempt yourself with them. Just go ahead and delete them. And then set up a firewall on your computer. Again, that's through Windows if you have that. Always back up your computer files. You can use an external hard drive if you want to, or you can just use your own computer's hard drive, but make sure that you set it up on a consistent basis. Again, if you ever need help with any of this, please contact us here at the library. We're able to help you out with any of your computer questions. Again, always use a strong password for any and all accounts, and then keep your passwords safe. Make sure you visit sites that have the HTTPS, ://, because that connection, is safe. It's got a little lock to it. And so you want to make sure that that is a safe site for you to visit. Use antivirus software. Keep up with the updates on that software, whether you're using Norton or McAfee or even Trend Micro, any of that. You don't just want to have your firewall, but you want to make sure you have your antivirus software as well. And then make sure you're getting those notifications on, check for this, and then this popped up. Make sure you know what's going on with your computer, and make sure you check those on a consistent basis as well. And then make sure you always sign out of your email account after you are through. Now, again, if you have any questions, go ahead. You can put those in the chat. I'll be happy to help you. And make sure you call our IT department at 708-428-5171 if you have any questions. You can always visit us on the second floor of the library during our regular business hours, because we are happy to help you. That is why we're here. I want to make sure that you are aware of our upcoming classes. We have Intro to Selling on eBay on January 25th. That's next week, Monday at 7 p.m. on Zoom. We have All Things Google on February 15th, 7 p.m. on Zoom, and Bitcoin and Beyond on February 23rd, again at 7 p.m. on Zoom. Now, all of our links for any of our classes can be found on our website under our calendar of events. We are the dark gray. Again, you'll click on that. You do not have to register for our events in advance. You can just choose to click on that link at the time of our event that is scheduled, and then it should send you right to our link. If you have any problems with that, again, it will also give you our Zoom ID number as well as the password to get into the Zoom. So again, I want to thank you for today.